You gotta stop reading rumors saying Classic is dead. Well, I mean, I think that the thing is that a lot of people that were playing the beta stopped playing with the beta. And I think that's something that a lot of people didn't really expect to have happen because they were like just so, as I said, they were so like caught up in the idea that Classic WoW is like this game, the one game to end all games, the greatest game of all time. And as soon as Classic WoW comes out, then nobody's ever going to want to play anything else. And retail is going to be completely dead. And nobody's ever going to play retail. Like, they might as well just cancel BFA because everybody's going to only play Classic now. And BFA sucks. Like, all of these things were never going to happen, right? Everybody knows that. Arcane Cache Key. Oh, it's right here. Okay, let me kill these guys. All right, it's easy. Playing beta is useless after a while. Completely understandable. Well, I don't know about that. I mean, like, whenever the 30 beta came out, people were very excited for it. They were spending tons of time and money and everything like that in the game. And then, obviously, as time went on, people just kind of lost interest in it for a number of reasons. Now, I think it would be naive to say that being a beta wasn't a factor. I think that was a huge factor, probably the biggest factor. But even with that taken out of the equation, I do still think people are going to run dry on content in the same way that people did on the beta, right? That's really the only thing that I'm trying to say. I guess, like, to me, I don't really like fanboyism. And whenever I see fanboyism, I always want to push back on it because, you know, I don't know. It's not really contrarian, but I just feel like it's like delusional people. You know what I mean? And that's kind of the way that I... Is this it? Accept a gift from your companion. Just a second. Let me go up to the top. All right, 1 second, boys. This is it, boys. This is it. Okay. Mount God. What about people who say you're unrealistically negative about Classic? I feel like I'm probably in one of the best places to evaluate Classic WoW and evaluate it as a game that people are interested in. Because not only do I understand, you know, the game and I'm playing it regularly, but I also stream and I'm parsing out feedback from thousands of people a day. So I think that I'm probably the most qualified person to make that judgment out of anyone. So, I mean, like, and there's a few other people, but no, I mean, am I wrong about that? I mean, I don't know who else would know it better than I do. Yeah, I mean, really. Is that negative about Classic? Just forget about it? Yeah, that's basically it. What? Is not negative. Yeah, I mean, I know that. Comparing non-permanent beta drop-off to a permanent release is pretty dumb. It was 99% the reason why people lost interest. I don't know about that. I don't think that's entirely true. In our time together, I've learned much, both about my own abilities and about your people. You are selfless in the face of challenge, much like our own. I consider us kin. For some time, I have been training a snapdragon that I found as a pup. He is a worthy mount, and I have been waiting for a worthy hunter to ride him. I believe I have found that hunter. Here, he is yours. Take care when feeding him. The poison is no less lethal to a friend. Alrighty. Here we go. Something fucking bitch. Whew, there it is, boys. Beta show people the big grind with none of the rewards of the big grind. Well, the rewards of the big grind are all perceived based around the amount of people that are playing and the people that are able to, you know, get excited about the things that you've done in the game, right? So if you don't have, I mean, I don't know, I could write out like an essay about this if people wanted, okay? Because as I said, I just feel like people were really being unrealistic about this entirely. Classic WoW obviously is a very good game, but it's not going to have like the lasting power of Infinity. You know what I mean? There's going to be some people that are going to really enjoy the game and play it for a long time, but most people are going to, like, they're going to grind to a point, and then they're going to stop playing at that point. That's the way that it goes. And I don't think that it matters if it's beta or if it's the real game. People are going to reach that point and then go into maintenance mode and stop playing the game as much. That's the way that it's worked with every single game. Like every single WoW expansion, even like the good WoW expansions, it's still the same thing. You have like people basically that are playing a lot, and then as time goes on, they kind of go into maintenance mode. It's the same even in like 8.2, right? Or in BC, you know, as soon as it comes out, you're farming out all of your reputation. Every game, yeah, it's every game. And that's all I'm trying to say. I'm not even, as I said, I just feel like people are being entirely unrealistic. And let's see, beta equals real game. Every time beta hype is measurement of classic hype is a retard. Well, wait a minute. So how is beta hype not an indicator of the interest in the game? Like, whenever the interest in, like, any game has come out on beta, and it's been very, very high, the game has done well. Like, how many games didn't do well in beta, but did well whenever they came out? I can't imagine or think of any of them, honestly. So that's, yeah, I mean, it's not even the case. Twitch isn't the whole world. Well, I'm not basing it off of Twitch. I think that a lot of people are thinking that I'm basing it off of Twitch. I was on the beta every single day. I saw how the player base declined over time. You know, it's not like I'm immune to seeing that. Obviously, like, yes, Twitch is like a big factor, right, for me, because I'm streaming on Twitch. I know a lot about Twitch, but it's not like that's the only thing that I can think of. I mean, it doesn't take a genius to just look at the amount of people playing on a beta, seeing it declining over time, and say to yourself, hey, maybe there's something more to this thing, you know? Like, that's all I'm really trying to say. It's nothing unreasonable at all. Of course, it's declined. It's a closed beta. Why would that matter? I mean, I feel like that's... The closed beta argument in that case only makes sense if you would imply that people that are outside of the closed beta... It's still like, are you dumb? No, sorry, I don't know why I'm so bad at explaining things on my stream. I've been like, I don't know why. I've just been, recently it's been so hard for me to explain these like really simple concepts to people. And it makes me wonder if I'm retarded or if everybody else is. So here's basically the point that I'm trying to make. It doesn't matter if it's a closed beta or not, because you're evaluating individual player experiences. So it doesn't matter if you're taking 1 million player experiences or 1,000 player experiences. You can still extrapolate the idea of a player experience declining and player interest declining based off of 1,000 people or 1 million people. So because it was a closed beta and they only invited 1,000 or 2,000 or 3,000 people, then their interest will probably mirror the interest of the general population whenever the game comes out, because the way that they were invited, aside from streamers, was not based on any sort of a specific gameplay requirement. That's what I'm trying to say. Sorry, I just sometimes I need to sit down and just explain myself clearly. That's what I meant to say. All right, an environment driven by community participation. Well, the entire Blizzard said that they were happy with the population of the server. So if you're not happy with the way that server went, and you think that the community went downhill too fast, then you should be talking to Blizzard about having more people on the server. That's basically the problem. Let's see, where's this? Okay, I have to get one more here. All right, just skip these. I guess I might as well before I go and do the, I do the benthic gear. I'll probably do that. They invited a bunch of just chatting streamers. Yeah, I mean, but they did invite a lot of streamers. But just because they invited a lot of streamers didn't mean that they didn't invite other people. The truth is, the streamers were the only ones that were still playing the game because they were playing it for viewers. Like, and so that even is wrong, even if you want to use that as an argument. It's still a wrong argument. Pokimane? Okay, so Pokimane gets invited. That's one person. That's one person. How is that an argument? It's literally one person. There's thousands of people on the server. And there's one person that gets invited that you don't think deserves it. And now all they do is invite random just chatting streamers? I mean, come on. That's insane. Only one person quits beta. That's one person. Yeah, exactly. Beta is not permanent. Only reason I don't play them. Progress on them is pointless in a beta. Well, I mean, and that is, I think it's a factor. I mean, I didn't say that it's not a factor. But I do still think that a lot of people that at least... And also, these are people that are hitting level 40. I'm not talking about people that hit level 5 and then quit because it's a beta. I'm talking about people that have invested, you know, hundreds of hours into the beta over time that I had played with over time. And then I stopped seeing those individuals log on. So if the limiting factor for that individual was the fact that it was a beta, they would not have initially started playing the game. Or they wouldn't have invested that much time to begin with, in it. So, again, that's also contradictory. It doesn't even make sense and refute my argument. You can't do shit at 40. And that is probably the main thing, right? Why are you putting so much effort into retail whenever it'll be irrelevant in a month? Because it won't be. People are going to get tired of Classic sooner than later. And they'll probably go back and either play retail or play another game. That's why. Everybody wants to keep talking about that and bringing that up. I'll always say the same thing. Okay? They're going to, yeah, Classic people, like, they're delusional. That's all there is to it. They're just delusional. People will be tired of 8.2 before Classic. Yeah, but the difference is 8.2 evolves. The current game evolves. Classic doesn't. Like, bringing out the new phases of, like, the content, besides the second phase that has BGs, many of the other late phases don't really affect the majority of the player base that's doing raiding, besides the raiding content people, right? People are waiting for the new raids to come out. Besides that, they're not really going to give a fuck. So unless the other people are doing that not true, well, what else? What happens in, like, phase 3, 4, and 5, and 6 that's going to really get people back that are playing the game that aren't raiders? Like, what comes out that makes them want to do that? TBC. I'm sorry to hear that, man. Okay, so let's go over this way, and I'll turn in these quests, and then we'll do this. Okay. All right, I'm gonna get on one character. We're gonna do it on him first. Would you like to see Classic evolve? I think so. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Just 1 second. Pokey, Mizkif, Train, etc. built up the beta hype above what it should have been. Then once it lost some of that hype, they moved on to the next trend and caused an overkill to the beta. I don't think that's the case at all. I feel like a lot of those people aren't endemic WoW streamers, and so their opinion on the game isn't necessarily going to influence the community, right? Because they're not really involved in the community in the same way. So I don't think that's the case at all. TBC was hard for me. Well, it was a great expansion. It was also a lot harder than Vanilla WoW. I'll say that for sure. It's way harder. Why did that affect people who are also in the beta? Well, the reason is because people try to they try to relegate my criticism and my evaluation on Classic to saying that I'm only thinking that because of Twitch TV viewer numbers. But the truth is it's universal. There are less people playing the game. Right? There are less people playing. It had nothing to do with the viewer numbers. The viewer numbers didn't stop people from logging in. They're two completely different things. When the server is filled with streamers, the viewer numbers do stop from people logging in. The server wasn't filled with streamers. It's not even true. Like, it's just not even true. I don't know why, like, I don't know where people got that idea from. But anyway, let's go this way. All right, we're going to get the bracers. I'm just going to fill up my inventory with bracers right now. Then I'm going to mail them all over. Okay. Yes, it was. No, it wasn't. How many people do you guys think were on the server? Let me ask you guys that question. How many people do you think was on the server? Okay, 1 second. 2,000 people. How many, okay, 2,000 people. How many streamers do you think got invited because of the fact that they were streamers? Like, not streamers that got inadvertently invited, but I would say like maybe 50. And I think 50 might be an overestimate. There were a lot of people, like, for example, Method Josh. Method Josh is a huge streamer, was a huge streamer. And streamers and influencers, not even people that are in the community didn't get in, right? A lot more than 50 people. Well, there are people that got in and they were streamers, but I'm talking about people that got in by the nature of them being a streamer in an unorganic fashion that's not relative to the way that Blizzard normally does beta invites. I think that it was about 50 to 75 people. 75 would be the highest number that I would go. I would not say it was more than 75 people. YouTubers as well. There were a lot less YouTubers that got invited. It was mostly streamers from, like, what I saw based off of content that people got. Maybe like 20 YouTubers and like 30 streamers, something like that. Yeah, I mentioned the Method stream. Of course it did. Summit literally asked for it and had it the next day. Well, that's because Summit's a massive streamer that's been on Twitch TV for like 7 years. So I don't think that's really a good analysis. How many people on Twitch are bigger than Summit? Again, less than the number that I thought that were getting invited into beta on you know, because of their fact that they're a streamer, right? Okay. Let's do it.